Hey everyone, we got some great news for Rivian stock investors in what must have been a sigh of relief for investors of EV companies who have seen nothing but bad news for the last 12 to 18 months. So in this video, I'm going to go over what that great news was, and I'm going to give you a little hint here. It's not what you expect, and what it could mean for Rivian stock investors. So let's jump right into it.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So you're probably expecting that the good news for Rivian was that it unveiled its R2 models and a surprise R3 model for going forward at a lower price point. But that's not what the great news was that came out of Rivian. You see, the R2 models were already forecasted, they were already anticipated by everyone who's following Rivian stock. Rivian had told everyone that, look, we're going to unveil these new models on this day, so be prepared, right? The surprising thing that came out is what I have on the screen here. Is that the CEO said that the truck maker is pausing construction of its $5 billion manufacturing plant in Georgia. Pausing construction. That's what was the great news. That's what sent the stock price soaring, in my opinion, because the company already has too much capacity and not enough customer demand. Why would they want to spend billions of dollars adding even more manufacturing capacity when they're not even approaching the limit of what they can produce right now? Right now, they have capacity to produce up to between 150,000 units and 200,000 units. Let me show you that. The Illinois current plant that they have has the capacity to produce 150,000 vehicles, and earlier Rivian had said that that would increase to 200,000 units by 2023. So it already has between 150,000 to 200,000 unit capacity. But in its most recent year, Rivian only produced 57,000, roughly 1/3 of what it can produce right now. And for 2024, Rivian said that they expect 2024 production to be flat with another 57,000 unit year. Now, even if that's an understatement and let's say they do 70,000 units, that's still less than half of what they have ability to produce. So why would they want to add another manufacturing facility when they already have enough to fulfill more than what is demanded from customers? And the industry, you all know the direction the industry is heading. Price cutting, supply increasing from everyone else, competition fierce, billions of losses on the bottom line. So is this something that you want to invest more into? The answer is no. So the good news here was that the management team made a prudent decision to pause construction here at the Georgia plant and save themselves an estimated $2 billion. Additionally, that saves them fixed expense, right? Because you're not just going to build a facility and let it sit there and now it's zero expense. No, it's not only is it going to be $5 billion to build a facility, but then every week you pay maintenance expense. You've got to have at least a skeleton crew there to operate the facility. Even if you're not producing anything, you still got to have a skeleton crew to make sure everything is okay, security, all of that stuff. You've got to do that. And so that's every month, every week expense added to your bottom line, right? So investors were pleased that the company said, all right, let's pause construction here. There's no need to add extra unit capacity. And it was estimated that the initial phase of the Georgia production facility was going to add 200,000 unit capacity and then another 200,000 unit capacity by 2030. So 400,000 extra unit capacity for a company that's struggling to sell even 75,000 units. So I think this is the reason why the stock price is increasing, is because investors are saying, that's better. The company is now right-sized. It's more right-sized, and it's got plenty of room to expand at the current facility. It's got plenty of room to expand. Next year, it's going to be flat, 57,000 units. So the following year, even if sales double in 2025, which is unrealistic, but even if sales double in 2025 up to 115,000 units, it's still got even more capacity to produce even beyond that. So I think this was a prudent move by management. I think you've got to wait and see how this EV industry shakes out, because demand is far, far less than initially expected, right? When I was going through my research, looking back at some of the early Rivian articles and early comments from the CEO, Rivian CEO was talking about selling 1 million units by the year 2030. 1 million units. They've yet to expand beyond 60,000 units, right? So the expectations were absolutely sky high and unrealistic. And now that demand is not so strong, I like that companies are finally making some rational decisions here and saying, let's stop expanding. Let's just try and fulfill our existing capacity right now. And then if we need more later, we'll expand. But I don't think they're going to need that. I don't think they're going to need that extra capacity. So if they can retool the existing facility, which they said they can retool the existing facility to make these lower priced models, the R2, at the existing facility, go ahead and do that, because you're nowhere near your 150,000 unit capacity, and you don't want to add to another facility when you're not there yet. And that should help alleviate some concern, because over its life cycle, Rivian has so far lost $18.56 billion. That's how much money Rivian has spent to get itself to this point here, where in 2024 they expect to sell 57,000 units, albeit still losing a lot of money on the bottom line for 2024 while selling 57,000 units. So they've burned through nearly $20 billion of capital. They've got to make moves to reduce this burning of capital. They've got to make moves to stem these losses, and to management's credit, they are making these moves. They said that they will achieve gross profit margin positive by the fourth quarter of 2024. That's one huge step in the right direction. Now we need to see more, and this is a good start. The announcement of these newer models, that was to be expected. It's good that we saw it. Price point 45,000, solid. Let's see how much traction it gains. Let's see if in the next quarterly update or in the following quarterly update, if Rivian is indeed keeping with its 57,000 unit capacity, 57,000 unit production number, or if they're going to upgrade those numbers as well. That's going to be something big to look into. Last year, they continuously upgraded that, right? Remember, they started with an outlook of 50,000, then they raised it to 52,000, then they raised it to 54,000, and they even beat those upgraded recommendations and hit 57,000. EV industry was in a big, difficult situation in 2023. Rivian, relatively speaking, performed well given the backdrop. So hopefully they have another solid year in 2024 and exceed their expectations. This was really good news, in my opinion, for Rivian stock investors. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.